Guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your boy here, Crispin, Rapping Here Life. Of course, this is Crispin 360, and of course, my name is Crispin. In this blog, I talk about travel, recipes, lifestyle, podcast, experiences in life. But on today's topic, we're going to be talking about racism at the workplace. Have you been discriminated before in your life in terms of your sexual orientation, your skin color, your body height, or whatever, like body shaming in general, If you have, please, this video is for you. Do not go anywhere. Crispin got you covered. I'll be right back. Welcome back, guys. In case you just tuned in, this is Crispin 360, and today I'm going to be talking about racism at the workplace. Before I start into today's topic, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, what are you waiting for? Jump onto my channel, subscribe, and then like and share. Tell your friends to tell a friend, to tell a friend, to tell all your friends. That Crispin is here to share some tips or his 2 cents opinions about this topic. So, let's jump into it. I don't know about you guys, but for me, this is how it works for me. Okay. I don't believe in nepotism. Nepotism is a system whereby a job is given to another person, even though the person is not qualified. But the mere fact that this person knows the manager or the boss or the HR of the company, it shifts to this person. You understand? Now, that's a discrimination, okay? Sometimes discrimination doesn't just come like directly, sometimes it's indirect. You understand? And sometimes you feel like, or for example, you feel like you see a job ad, like a vacancy, and you tell yourself that, oh my God, I really think this job is for me, okay? But for your skin color, okay, or maybe for your height, especially this happens actually in the modeling, like in the fashion industry, they go like, oh, you're too tall, you're too short, you're too fat, you're too thin, you are this and that, and people don't you try to diminish people's spirits, you try to make people feel less of themselves because of a particular height or criteria you're looking for. You understand? And this makes people like, is it my fault I was born this way? Is it my fault? It's not our fault that we're born black people. It's not our fault that we're born white or Asian. You understand? Or Indians. You understand? It's just by generality, that's how we came into the world, and I can't change my color. Fine, people bleach you, but of course, that is not who you are. You are still who you. Your initial color is who you are in this world, right? So, racism at workplaces. How did this come about? Now, here's the thing, okay? Sometimes it's not like we don't blame them anyways. When I say we don't blame them, I'm talking about those that have faced this, people who are victims of racism, okay? It's not our fault that we have to always justify ourselves, why we are how we are. You understand? It's not our fault. And here's the thing: the fact that racism has become so it has become so very common that these days you see it and you just wave at it because it has become part of us. People always go through this and they can't even voice out because of what people think of them. I go back to what I was saying about the job interview and all that. You know that this job actually fits you. You can do this job, but skin color or just they will just sideline you or just blacklist you because of your skin color. And I don't think it is worth it if I have to go to school to pay all these tuition fees to have a degree, to have a good life in this wicked world. And after all this school and education, I can't even boast of a good job. Not because I didn't pass my grades, not because I'm not qualified, but because of my skin color. And it has become so intense that people are trying to now quit jobs and just do things like self-employed, which is very good, obviously. But of course, you always have to start from somewhere before you get to another place. You can't we all cannot be self-employed, because all entrepreneurs, it's not going to be possible. And this always boils down to racism because it's becoming very, 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 very common these days. I'll give myself an example. For example, I actually applied for jobs and I'm like, I could see that this job I could do it, but skin color. Oh, the customers cannot speak your language. They don't speak, not everyone speaks English. They speak foreign language, and you have to also speak. I understand if you go to a foreign country, like we say, when you go to Rome, you do what the Romans do. It's a fair deal. We know that. But sometimes, let's give ourselves some break, because not everybody is the shop or the company is not going to be catering to only foreigners. Local people. Foreigners are going to be passing through each and every day, you understand? So everybody needs a second chance or a chance to actually improve and grow in the company, you understand? So when these things start happening, that you feel like, okay, why am I here? Am I being wanted? Sometimes you walk into a company or in the colleagues and they don't want to even talk to you or look in your face. It happens a lot, and it's becoming very problematic for people because people don't want to even travel abroad. You understand? I know friends who be like, Crispin, I don't want to live in abroad because I cannot stand racism. If somebody should attack me based on my skin color or like just like racism slur, I don't know what I'm going to do to this person. So in order for me not to for me not to be in that position whereby I have to hurt somebody or attack somebody or defend myself, I don't want to travel, okay? But it takes, I always say this, anybody who travels, it takes a good spirit and then a determination in life, an ambitious person to travel. You should have a thick skin. That is the thing about the world. The racism is going to be there. It's not going to go away. I mean, they are trying to make it look like it's not there, but hey, it exists. You and I know that it exists. It's there, you understand? You just have to control yourself and then know who you are or where you want to go or when you can control yourself, you understand? Just sometimes ignore it. You don't always have to retaliate. Sometimes you hear it and then you be like, wait a minute, are you referring to me? You understand? And some people deliberately do it. And I always say the racism, it's always in life. You just have to be open-minded when it comes to racism, because racism sometimes you just have to ignore. Because I'll give you an example. I was in a country which I don't want to mention the name a few years ago, and one of my colleagues was about to make a statement, and then he went like, oh, Crispin, I know you are black, but you understand? And clearly, at that moment, at that time, I was like, what to make, like, you want to make a comment, and I mean, and I'm not even like attacking you, but why do you start a sentence with you are black, but it doesn't make sense, because when I start doing that, you give me like already once you said you are black, I'm like my guards are up, I want to attack you, you understand? But as I sit here right now, I realize that okay, his English wasn't even very good. So sometimes it's ignorance. A lot of people who tend to do racism slurs, trust me, some of them, it's so like they're just ignorant. They just don't know how to construct the English language. And I've seen a lot of people that they don't mean it in that way, but that's the only way they can they can explain. I have people that actually always say you're a black, oh, the black lady, the black guy, the black man, the black woman, you understand? But you can just say the African person. Look, automatically when you say an African person, we all know that they are black people, you understand? So sometimes we call something extreme adjective. Just know how to use the words and then your symbols or like your terms, because don't just use just any word to describe people. Not everybody likes the words. Don't touch. I mean, black people, I see a lot of people touching our skin color to see how we look, if we are black or we just had like a paint or a charcoal on our skin. I haven't experienced it personally because I'm a very open-minded person, and you dare not do that to me, because I mean, the kind of people that I roll with, they are very open-minded. I have not been faced with any racism in my life before, apart from the one that I was talking about a few years ago when I was teaching in a foreign country. So, like I said, it's ignorance. Always sit them down. They didn't. I had people who never saw black people till I went to Turkey to teach English. Like they didn't know what it was. So you could be like, oh, Crispin, I never met a black person before. You're the first one that I met. I've seen people like that before. But in Africa, we see white people, we see Chinese people, and it's normal. I don't think there's an anti-black person who goes to Africa and we all be staring at. No, we do. I mean, Africans have seen it all. We've seen Chinese, Australians, Americans, Europeans. Like we've seen everybody in the world before. So I don't think there's any color different from Africa, black people who go to Ghana or Africa that will be staring. I mean, it's rare. I don't think there's any black person who will see a white person or a Chinese and then will start staring. No, I don't think so. But when we come here, they stare us and look. Don't blame them. Something like I said, it's ignorance. It doesn't mean that they hate us. Of course, some of them are very verbal, and of course you know. But some of them, trust me, Claire, most of them, they just want to just say something, just like let it slide. You understand? Don't always attack and all that. So this is the thing about social media has also opened a lot of doors for people. People are learning now, and racism is very crazy. I'll also give you an example. At workplaces, you put your food in the fridge, and you open your food, you microwave it. They'll be like, "Oh, African food, it smells so much." Like I cannot smell I can't smell African food. Like you guys have this strong smell of African food, and I'm like, Africans eat fish head. It's normal for African people to eat fish head. Hey, every African eats fish head. It's normal. Africans eat and like chicken, like made like the KFC. We eat the bone, the meat, and then we actually crack the bones. That's African people. Doesn't mean that we are cannibals or we live in trees and forests and monkeys or whatever. These things are just like people perception about it. And then I don't blame them. Also, I blame the media. The media always projects something about African people that you don't even know if it exists or not. So sometimes you as a black person, you all as an Indian or a Chinese person, you always have to educate these people. Try to educate them that listen, it is not like this, it is like this. I have done my part. I mean, most of my friends who used to think that black people had a different mentality, or I would just say like they had this narrative about black people. My friends, I mean, I have actually educated my friends and they don't feel like that again. You understand? So it's always about you and how you project yourself, or how you address issues. You understand? So until we can fight racism in this world, in terms of workplaces, your social circles, you also have to learn how to explain things to them. If you don't explain to them what they heard or what they read in the media, is what they're gonna be, what's called, chancing upon. That's the world that we live in now. So racism is how you deal with it, please, guys. And also, like I said, let's go back to the office that I'm talking about. Sometimes you walk into the staff room and then they are all eating. You just say, "Oh, hello, bon appetit," enjoy your meal. Then nobody responds. You try to involve yourself into a conversation, and like nobody keeps quiet. Like they treat you as if you don't exist. All these things, we all come from different cultures and religions, you understand, and different countries and continents. Okay, so just know how to control racism slur. For once, I'm a very open-minded person, and racism doesn't get to me because I know who I am. It's only people who are like low self-esteem. There are people that get offended on these days. If you have a friend or a colleague who is always giving you that racism slur, and you try advising the person or maybe educating the person, and he or she doesn't want to abide by what you're saying, move on. Just shift yourself away. You don't have to always be someone's beck and call. You understand? This is like, you cannot be an ice cream. Like nobody can like you. You can't be sweet to people all over the world if people don't want to give you the benefits of the doubt. At least my friends, I'm trying with my friends. If my friends always talk about racism and I feel very uncomfortable, I leave the place. You understand? Like I said, most of them, out of the people that I've been with, most of them is ignorance. They just don't know how to describe. They just don't know how to explain themselves. So they end up offending you without even knowing that they offended you. You understand? So please, it's not always about you always taking the first bullet. Oh, he or she was very rude to me because of my skin color, or my hair color, or my height, or my body. Just understand the dynamics, and then I guess we'll all live in a happy place. I am not saying that racism is going to go away tomorrow, or maybe 2 years. Or it's eventually, it takes time for racism to go away, but it will take a long time, and it all will start from you and I. We really have to work on it and then make people understand that, listen, we cannot all be black, we can't all be Chinese, we can't all be Asian, we can't all be Indians. I mean, Asian and India, they are the same thing anyway. So, I mean, we can't all be the same color, you understand? And I didn't choose my color, I didn't choose my height. This is who I am, and if we tend to understand each and everybody, I guess this world will be a better place for us. But until then, let's keep our fingers crossed. All right, I'm going to make this video very short, and of course, I'm going to end this video. And of course, if you're new to my channel, what are you waiting for? Please subscribe, like, and share. And of course, it's Crispin360. If you have your questions about racism and all, please leave your comments in your comment section. Of course, I'm going to read them. Then if I have time, I reply to you. By the way, I see a lot of you guys always writing me on my Instagram and my Facebook. The thing is, my Facebook Messenger, I'm not always there, but on my Instagram, I'm almost there every day. So if you have any questions, please continue to send them to me in my Instagram DMs, and of course, I'm going to respond to you if I can. I'm not talking about just racism, about the teaching jobs and all, everything in general. Whatever you have, any questions you want to project into my videos, please. And be very, very outspoken, be very open-minded people, like be very open-minded person. Like go out there, read a lot, and then educate people. People don't know much about racism. Ignorance is number one. It's a very big problem all over the world. So please don't always jump the gun and then attack yourself because people just give you the racism like the black slayer or whatever they call you, monkey or a pig or whatever they call you. It's you just don't just know how to deal with it. Let's be real, it cannot go away. There's racism at workplace, at schools, at churches, at restaurants, at co-housing, at gatherings, everywhere. It is there. It's just not staring into our faces, but it's there. Just know how to control it, guys. Please, of course, guys. Once again, it's your boy here, Crispin, and on to the next episode of Crispin360. I am out of here. I love you guys. Bye, y'all.